Good downhill here, just managed to do it. Hello everybody and welcome back to a new episode in the Road to Manchester Marathon series. So we're now on week 3, which is part of a 6-part series documenting the final 6 weeks of training going into Manchester Marathon on April the 16th. It is also a race week, I suppose, this week. So on Sunday I'll be running the Ashby 20. So although it is a race, I'll be getting a number on, getting my club vest on. We'll be treating it as sort of like a long training run, more of a dress rehearsal for the marathon. So to give a bit more context, the previous 2 years in 2019 and 2022, when I've ran sub 3s at Manchester, that's been done so by running Ashby 20. It's a 20-mile race locally, running that at the same pace I want to run Manchester at, which is usually about 2 or 3 weeks out from the marathon. I suppose the advantage of this is that running Ashby, although I'm not reaching the full 20 miles, is on a much more challenging course. So it's a 2-lap course, roughly about a 10-mile loop, just under, and it takes you over some rolling hills around Ashby, which makes it quite challenging on the legs. And I think if you can run sort of a pace that you want to run your marathon at Ashby, that's probably going to translate into what you are aiming for that marathon when it comes to race day. Happy Wednesday, and what an absolutely glorious morning it is. Starting to pick up weather-wise now, going towards spring, so clocks are going forward at the weekend to give us that extra hour in the evening. So it's probably going to be light till about 7:30, which is ideal for those post-work runs. So I'm on a recovery run this morning, as I did a track session last night. So just talk through that session a little bit and what the sort of method was behind what I was doing. So I have been saying in the last couple of weeks that I'm putting a big focus on trying to work on that real top end speed. So that's from real short intervals, so maybe only 400 meters, maybe only sort of 2-minute reps rather than 3 and 4 minute reps and long tempo work I've been doing. I suppose the idea behind that is that there are 3 energy systems that you use in running, which I'm only really, I suppose, using 1, maybe 2 of them at the moment. So the one I've mainly been using is the aerobic system, with all my sort of long distance miles, easy miling, longer sort of steady runs, which makes up the most of my training week at the moment. I've been using the second system, which is the lactate system, which sort of links between your aerobic system and the short sprint lactic system, which I'm trying to work on doing these 400 meter reps. I'll be using a bit of that at the start of them reps, because you can get up to sort of 15-20 seconds within that system before you then use a bit of the alactic, the second system there. So enough about all the scientifics behind it, but the main aim is to try and increase my speed. I'm not so bothered about trying to do that speed and then going at a rep maybe 60 seconds later. So I'm doing a 400, then taking probably 2 or 3 minutes to make sure I mostly recover from that, and then go again so that I get some good quality reps out of there, good form, and hit some good times, with the view of when I do get fitter and more used to this, I'll be able to drop the recoveries down and try and hit maybe slightly slower pace, but hit that similar pace, but be able to do them as a more traditional rep with, say, 60 seconds, 90 seconds rest. And the plan for this evening, so I'm going to double today. I was going to anyway on a Wednesday, but what I probably wouldn't normally do is a session, back-to-back session, so one last night and then one tonight. But weighing it up, because looking at the volume of the sessions, I only did about sort of 2 miles worth of effort volume last night. Again, tonight is probably only going to be 3 to 4 miles volume at top, so it's only the same as, well, it's actually better in a way than if you did say 6 miles worth of volume in a session on one day. It's going to take you longer to recover from than doing 2 sessions of a similar volume but spread over 2 days. A little bit of a theory that double running, I find, doing double days, sorry, doing a 6 in the morning, 6 at night is a lot easier than doing a 12 all in one go. That's a theory, what I'm trying to sell to myself anyway. Joining you again on Thursday's run, so just a quick report check back in from those 2 consecutive track sessions that I did, or track style sessions. Tuesday nights was a track session, Wednesday nights was same sort of thing, an interval session but round the car park at Conkers, so just replicating that sort of 400, 600 sort of work. So the session was 600, 400, 200, and we did that 4 times, so getting in just under 5 kilometers worth of volume there. And to report back on how I'm feeling, because this is something I not typically do, sessions back to back, so I've held up pretty well, to be fair. The only thing that I'd say feels a little bit sore and tight is the backs of my legs, so my hamstrings just feel a little bit sore, but that good kind of sore that you can tell that you've had a good bit of training, and when those muscle fibers repair, you'll see some adaptations from that in terms of feeling stronger. So I'm pretty pleased with that, and going into today's run, just taking it nice and easy, so anywhere between 8 and 10 miles but at a really easy pace. And here he is, we're just catching up with Jacob to join me on my run today. Nice one, Jacob.
Hey bud.
How are we?
Good, you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Good morning, it's now Sunday and I'm doing Ashby 20 this morning, so just heading down to the start line now. Running a little bit late as usual, so it's probably like half an hour before the race starts now. Just having a little jog down to backdrop. We'll check in later. So just about 1.5 miles into the race. It's a 2-lap course roughly, so big 2 sort of 9-ish mile loops. They're quite undulating, so this is the start of the first of them loops. Cheers, James. Thank you.
Well done.
About 3.5 miles in now, and this is where it starts to kick. I think just underneath we've got a little bit of a drop, and then it kicks up quite a long hill. Here we've got a couple of them on the first loop. I'll check in when we get to them. This is the hill I'd mentioned about it, which seems to be going all the way downhill. Now this one looks like it's a bit of a drag up now, just around that corner. The next hill just before 5 miles, just going into Swepstone, so this looks quite a chunky one. I remember this one from the last couple of years. Goes around that corner and round the other corner again. So 6 miles in now. Just going to take my first gel, which is one of a 40 gram assist beta fuel. There's a 6 mile marker. Cheers guys. Cheers guys. Thank you. Cheers Jay. Cheers guys. Thank you. Thanks guys. So that was the guys with legends from Conker's Park Run, which is our local park run, and in my drink station. So attending to my drink stations on this route. So we'll see them again next lap. Really good downhill here. Just managed to reel Robbie back in. I'm just coming to the end of a loop now. It's a nice little downhill into the town centre and back on loop 2. Thank you marshals. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers guys. Cheers boys. That's halfway done now. About 106.5. So it's roughly, my quick maths, about a 213. So if I'm targeting 215, good for that first lap. So that's 12 miles in now. A bit noisy with the traffic, but I'm going to take another gel soon. I've only got a 20 gram one, not a 40 this time. In terms of the hills, that first hill made it up okay. Feel pretty good. A little bit more out of breath than the first lap round here. We're checking again later on the route. About 14.5 miles now, just starting to kick in and feel it now, because the last couple of hills quite tough. So I know I've only got sort of 1 or 2 more hills left to go, so I'm just going to chill out for a little bit this mile until the next hill. So I've just dropped a little bit off the group I was running with, so I'll try and get back to Robbie if I can do, just in the distance there. Feeling much better now after a mile of taking it a little bit steadier. So something I need to remember in a marathon, if I do feel a bit burnt out, just back off a bit and it'll soon come back, rather than carrying on at your in your head what's your marathon pace and just burning out and having to walk. So note to self there. Thank you. Cheers Alan. Cheers guys. Thank you. I'll have one, thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers guys. Thank you.
Great stuff.
Nice one Mike. Have a strong finish mate. Couple of miles to go. Thank you. Cheers guys. Coming into that last mile now, so well up on pace. Just going to ease it in. So I completed Ashby 20 in a time of 2:13.13, which is actually about a 2.5 minute PB for me from last year that I did it. So again, really pleased with that one. Thanks to our friends at Ivanhoe Runners, who are sort of a local running club to us at South Derbyshire, for putting a really great event, and it's my 3rd hoodie, which is now an orange coloured one. So, well, actually my 4th hoodie. So I got a hoodie from the year that the race got cancelled due to COVID, but it's my 3rd time running Ashby 20, and I've improved by about a minute or 2 on each year, starting at around 2:16 in 2019, 2:15 last year, and then yeah, hit this year a new PB of 2:13.13. So wraps up Ashby 20, a successful Sunday, and 3 weeks to go until Manchester Marathon now. A roundup of this week's training started off on Tuesday this week, so I took Monday off as a rest day and did a lunchtime run of 6 miles, just under 8-minute miles, which was on the clips there. I then did some track session on the evening on Tuesday. So I started off with doing 6x400s, trying to hit that low pace on the reps there. So I did them in around 73 seconds per lap. and then dropped onto 200s when I was starting to tire. So I did 4 by 200s at roughly around 35 seconds per lap. So quick session there, I was pleased with that one. Then going on to
Wednesday,
Tuesday, so I did an easy run in the morning, 6 miles at just under 8s again, and then went off and did another interval session in the evening on Wednesday. So this was with the club at South Derbyshire. We had a session where we had 4 lots of 600s, 400s and 200s. So I was able to hit some quite good paces there and do them with some sort of proper, more orthodox recoveries, I suppose, rather than having 3-4 minutes off after each one, which I was doing on some of the 400s maybe. The previous night I was able to go off sort of a 60-90 seconds, more of a typical rest there, just to build that fitness. So I was pleased with that, 2 sessions in the middle of a week. I then had a swim on Thursday morning and did an easy run at lunchtime, so a little bit longer, did a 10 mile at 8-minute miles and met Jacob for the middle 6 of that. I then got out on Friday evening and did about 7.5 miles at 7:50s. It's a bit of a struggle to get out that night, but made sure I got out there and did it. So I didn't run on Saturday, as that was, I was out on Saturday and I'd got the race coming up, Ashby 20 at the weekend. So going over Ashby 20 and some of the stats on that, it come out just over 20 miles on my watch, but I know it always sort of overestimates. Roughly around 6:38 per mile, so it's probably 6:40s on the actual course, and it turned out to be a 2.5 minute PB, as I've said there. So really pleased with that, and we'll take that as a sort of long training run, last effort going into Manchester. As I said earlier in the week, if I could nail anything under 2:17-ish, then I'm quite confident that I can go sub 3 at Manchester. So it was a really confidence boosting run that was at Ashby. And in terms of how that week fit in terms of sessions and mileage, it was 59 miles for that week. I'd like to do a little bit more than that, but I did have 2 days off during that week too. I also hit 2 good sessions midweek and then hit that 20-mile race at Ashby at the weekend. So all in all, a good week, and that wraps up week 3 of Road to Manchester Marathon training. Be sure to check in for the next video, week 4, where I'll be starting my taper down towards the marathon in sort of 3 weeks' time now. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the next video.